Good luck, have fun, don't die is another crazy addition to director Gore Verbinski's fascinating filmography. Here, a man from the future attempts to prevent an AI apocalypse by recruiting some unlikely patrons, on a dangerous quest to save the world. So, unlike some other movies that I've seen recently, this film takes a firm stance against the use of AI. But the movie isn't just about AI. It also comments on how cell phones, social media, and virtual reality, among other things, have basically ruined modern society, which is a fair enough point. But while I do appreciate the fact that this is a film with something to say, not all of the film's commentary really works for me personally. Not that I disagree with what the movie is saying, I just take issue with how the film chose to say some things. What do I mean by that? Well, watching the movie feels like the equivalent of listening to an old man yelling about the youth and how they're always on their damn phones. Now, as someone who doesn't love the generations that are younger than me, I understand that sentiment completely. But the movie is actively trying to say that technology is isolating us from one another, and I find it ironic that the movie chose to communicate that message by yelling at its own audience. Because despite the fact that I do agree with what the film stands for, I couldn't help but feel a bit isolated myself while watching it. Yes, AI is bad. Yes, we should spend less time on our phones. Yes, we should spend more time offline. But by yelling all of these things at me, the movie comes across as a bit preachy. And watching it feels like reading Old Man Yells at Cloud, which is a real shame because I don't want to refer to director Gore Verbinski as just an old man, but this movie definitely has some old man slash boomer energy. I mean, I give credit to Verbinski for using this film as a platform for him to complain about everything that's wrong with the world, but complaining about the state of the world is definitely something that an old man would do. Still, I can't deny the fact that this is a fun and creative movie. And while the tone of the overall film may not work for me, it clearly seems to be working for most people. Of course, it probably helps that the movie is anchored by a wonderfully unhinged performance by Sam Rockwell. He absolutely steals the show here, which shouldn't be too surprising given how he's great in just about everything. Talented actors like Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz, Juno Temple, and Haley Lou Richardson also star in the film, but none of them really get the chance to shine like Rockwell does here. The movie tries to compensate by focusing on their characters during flashback sequences. Unfortunately, most of the flashback scenes don't work for me either. Sure, the flashbacks interrupt the flow of the more interesting story being told, but I mainly take issue with how the segments provide commentary on subjects like child cloning and school shootings, because those are surprisingly heavy topics for a comedic little satire like this. Jumping around from silly subject matters to more serious ones did give me tonal whiplash, especially considering how absolutely bonkers this movie can be. I mean, there are parts of this movie that are downright absurd or even batshit crazy. And while the crazier elements do help give the movie a unique identity of its own, juxtaposing these elements with something as serious and as awful as school shootings did make for a tonally jarring experience. So, while I do like all of the individual pieces that do make up this movie, I'm not sure if they come together to form one satisfying whole. I like the director, I like the cast, I like the story being told, I like the themes that make up said story, and I even like the film's unique visual style. This is a beautiful looking film that is filled with some undeniably important messages. But none of that changes the fact that I found the movie to be disappointing. I really wanted to like it, but I think the film is probably too ambitious for its own good. That being said, I do commend Gore Verbinski for taking a big swing like this. I'll take a huge artistic swing over soullessly produced AI slop any day. So, even though I may have some personal issues with it, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die would still get a mild recommendation from me. But be sure to let me know what you thought of the film, and as always, thanks for watching.